do it live.
Okay. Well, no.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru. Another episode of Nintendo Talk live. Actually, we're gonna do today. I'll give a quick breakdown like I normally do, Monday through Friday, every day in between. I take 5 to 10 minutes. This one's gonna be a little bit longer than 5 to 10 minutes to take the top Nintendo stories of the day, talk about them, discuss them, give our opinions on them. So with that, here we go. I'm joined by JoAfterWork. What is up, Joe?
What's going on? What's going on?
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm chilling, having a nice Friday night. I actually had a day off for once, so that was cool.
Oh, that's even better, man. Holy cow. What, real quick, why don't you let everybody know, like, around here, like, what you do in the interwebs and all that stuff?
Sorry, I think you froze up there for a second.
Okay. I said, why don't you just let everybody know, like, what you're doing on the internet and all that stuff and how you go? I think are you not hearing me?
For some reason, you keep freezing, but I think I got it. You just wanted to let... Yeah. Okay. It was like freezing up for some reason. Okay. Let me close out everything on my end, and maybe that'll help. I'm just going to shut down my computer.
Just
there we
run
go.
Skype. Get everything else on the computer.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I guess I won't be able to see the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm Joe, and my channel is JoAfterWork. I play Nintendo games. Probably for like the last year and a half, but I've been on YouTube for about 2.5 years. I used to do a more broad aspect of gaming where I would, I play a little bit of everything, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC games. But over the last year and a half or so, I got my 3DS modded back in April of 2016 so I can play Fire Emblem Fates on the channel. Okay. And for me at heart, I've always been a handheld gamer. Back to Game Boy. Like, that's always been a big thing for me. So it made sense that, I'd start playing some 3D.
Oh boy. Joe froze up.
DS games because I just, and that sort of began this spin on the premise of the channel of it going towards Nintendo. And about back in January, February, after I did Resident Evil 7, I was like, okay, let's put things to rest. Let's make this all Nintendo and go forward with it. And that's pretty much what I've been doing since.
I kind of did something similar. You know what I mean? Like, I had my thing where I had my other, I guess, dabblings with, like, comic books and geeky stuff and movies and television and all that. And then I was just like, I got to the point where I just started talking a lot of Nintendo. And people are like, look, why don't you just start doing more Nintendo stuff? So that's where I focused and I pushed. You know what I mean? It was weird. But let's quit real quick. Let's jump into... I just want to jump into the chat. I'm going to read off some people that are here. We got a few people here tonight. Nintendo Family Gaming, Joel Brooks, what is up? Jesse Armstrong, how you doing, buddy? Riboflavins is here. Deadeye Go Hard. He said he's here because of you.
Yeah, Deadeye.
Yeah, he also said...
Deadeye's one of the peeps.
He also said to fix your PC, Joe. That's...
That's nothing.
Lucas Lore is in the house. What is up? Dave Larkham. I just trained this guy how to do my job, I think. Yeah, that's what's up, Dave. Awesome. And I think that's all we got right at the moment. There's some other people, but they haven't said anything, so I can't say hello to them yet. But real quick, let's jump into the top Nintendo stories of the day and go over those. So first off, this is something that I think you and I could probably get into a little bit. Nintendo New York is going to be holding a Mario and Rabbids launch event on August 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Meet the creative director. I'm going to mess this name up. David Soliani or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And composer Grant Kirkhope. Who, Grant, for those that don't know, also did a lot of stuff for, like, Rare back in the day. He worked on, like, Banjo-Kazooie and that stuff. And he actually worked on Yooka-Laylee most recently. So that's kind of cool. Is this something you would check out, Joe? Or is this something you're just like, I don't care?
Yeah, I was definitely on the fence. I was pretty vocal about it on my channel. Like, I I'm gonna wait until I see some more gameplay of it. And E3 came around, and because we heard about all the leaks happening like a couple weeks before. It was like the worst kept secret.
Horrible.
Like all of Ubisoft's games always get leaked.
It's like, what the hell, Ubisoft? What are you doing over there?
Exactly. So I was like, you know what? Is this fake? Is this not fake? And then I saw gameplay of it at E3, and I was like, holy crap, this game actually looks like it could be really good. And they had, because I went to E3, they had the Donkey Kong sized rabbit there. I was like, whoa, this game looks like it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That guy David, I forget his last name. He was the guy in the Ubisoft conference that started tearing up in the crowd. That guy, I've been following him on Twitter. He is very passionate about this project, man. I would love to actually meet him if he's going to be there at Nintendo New York at a reasonable time of day. It seems like. Yeah. Then I might have to jump in.
There you go. Chibi's in the house. Chibi, listen, a reasonable time is stream. Why 7 o'clock, man? Come on, man. That's too early. I'm normally recording videos. But I am going to be doing Splatoon after this tonight, just so you guys know. Nice. So get ready for some of that. Insane Alpha Beta just said hi, Joe.
Hey, what's going on? He's another one, that just jumped in on my stream earlier, actually.
That's awesome. Joe's having technical issues where he can't see actually what's going on. So, as far as the chat goes, I have to read to him when you guys say stuff. So
I'm gonna bust it out on my phone.
There you go. That's what I do sometimes.
I
actually put my stuff there and we go there. Look at Chibi. Don't start your stuff, Chibi. That's just nuts. Another news story that hit today was Biff released a sneak peek at a new ARMS character via Twitter. The image of the official Japanese came from the official Japanese Twitter for ARMS, teased a glimpse of a fighter in a very grainy image. The fighter should also come in the next ARMS update. So, I don't know, Joe. What's your take on ARMS?
I wish I got to play the game more, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I picked up the game, and I tell you, I played it for a couple hours. I've just not been able to jump back into it. Not because of, I don't want to jump back into it.
Yeah.
I was hyped about that game.
Me too.
I've been ready. It's just everything else that came out. Splatoon came out. All these other indie games came out. Mighty Gunvolt Burst took up a majority of my time. I'm still going through that game because I'm trying to 100% everything in there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I got a question.
Yeah.
So Mighty Gunvolt. Mm-hmm. How the hell do you do anything in that game? It is so hard, man. Is it like Mega Man where you can actually use people's weapons and further yourself? And if so, how the hell do you do it? Because I can't figure it out for the life of me.
So yeah, if you pick Beck, from Mighty Number 9, you can actually right off the bat select any of his weapons. It's like there's a customization section before you select the stage, and you can kind of go in and mess around. It's a little intimidating at first, but they took that from the Azure Striker system. So if for anyone that's played the Azure Striker games, they would know how to do that right away. But if you're going into it just either playing Mighty Number 9 or playing this game flat out for the first time, not having any history of the other two, it could be a little intimidating. But you go in there, you can choose your different weapons right off the bat, which is really great with Beck. With Gunvolt, it's a little different because he doesn't work exactly the same way as he does in his games. He works more like Beck would, or Mega Man for that matter. And you actually have to unlock all of his abilities. So he's kind of the harder one, but he's a little bit of a hack as well.
Oh, God. You're just basically telling me to put it down and don't mess with it.
That's a great game.
Twin World Game Reviews is here. What is up? How you doing? He says, I want to pick up Mighty Gunvolt Burst and Blaster Master Zero one of these days. Blaster Master Zero is really good as well. Both of them are really good games, honestly. I'm taking shots at Mighty Gunvolt Burst a little bit, but I own the game and I did like it. It's just unfortunately I didn't have enough time to put into it because I got sucked up into there's so many games right now on the Switch. I'm not even messing with that name. I'm not even messing with that. What the hell? Pilla Pong Nong Dungo? Dugo?
I feel like I saw that.
Pilipongdugo. That's for you because they said Lee Joe. So that's you, the Joe. That's...
Yeah, oh, that's oh gosh, yes, I know who that is. That's Draco. Yes.
Okay, Draco. Okay, there you go. I had no clue. All right, listen, I am from New Jersey. Joe will tell you, people from New Jersey are kind of illiterate. It's part of the nature. Just what happens. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, he knows. He's laughing because he knows. He's like, yeah, this Jersey guy, he's just stupid redneck from down south. He don't, you know.
Oh, my God. I deny all comments.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're so full of it. The laughing and stuff. The minute you started, you knew what was up. Okay, here's a question. So you've been playing Splatoon 2, correct?
Yes. Again, another game that not as much as I would like to, but I have dabbled more than ARMS.
So number one, are we friends on Switch?
Are we friends on Switch? I'm going to say no because I didn't know you had a Twitch account.
No, Switch.
Oh, Switch. No, we are not.
Okay, we need to... Number one, we need to correct that.
Yep, that needs to happen.
Number two, you need to, like, start playing some Splatoon with us. Like, enough of this nonsense.
I know. When you're streaming, I'm streaming.
Oh, is that what's going on? Okay, so that's fine. I get it. It's okay. We can take a little...
I'm like,
we can take a little break from it.
I think I froze again.
You keep when you freeze, I just start talking, and it's like I'm just like whatever. Let's just keep going. Twin World Game Review says, I know how you feel, Bobby. There's a ton of Switch games out there already for this system, with more awesome games coming out. Yeah, that's true. I have games that I still need to complete before I buy more. Dude, I can't keep up. Like, I really thought, like, when I got the Switch, I thought, okay, Splatoon's gonna hit, or not Splatoon, Zelda's gonna hit, and I'm gonna just play Zelda forever. And then it took me about a month and a half to beat Zelda, and then it was done. It just completely, like, took off, and I couldn't keep up. So I think you're froze, Joe. Yeah, Joe's froze again. I'm gonna have, you know, we gotta figure this out. Let's see what's going on here. Joe's got that perplexed look on his face. That's where we're going to keep it at for a second. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick Joe off the call and then call Joe back. Well, Joe's going to kick himself off the call, and then I'm going to call Joe back. Let's see what happens here. Okay, let's try this again, Joe.
Okay, let's try this again.
Here we go. Let's see if we can get this right.
Oh, man.
Luke Lore. Luke, how many hours of what? Of what are you talking about? Splatoon? Because, dude, I'm like I think I'm over 100 hours now on Splatoon 2. I've been cranking some hours on that thing.
Jeez. You've spent as much time as I have on Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild. Oh, you know what? That's what he's probably talking about, Breath of the Wild. I think I put 100 hours into Breath of the Wild. Splatoon is, well, I have my Switch right here. I'll look at it in a second while I'm talking. It'll take a second to bring it up. Because it's pretty fluid how quick you can jump in and out of stuff with this.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's like my profile's already loading up already. So, I'm looking at it. I have... Oh, God. That would help. Splatoon 2, I have 75 hours or more played. And then Zelda. Where's Zelda? 155 hours into Zelda.
Jeez. I think he beat me on Zelda for sure.
And I've got 50 hours on Minecraft. 20 hours on Mario Kart 8. And that's about the games I play. Everything else, I don't have no more time in my life for anything else beyond that. That's pretty much where I'm at. It's nuts. I actually downloaded the parental app so I can see.
I did the same thing.
I wish I would have done it pre-Splatoon, because it's just more on par. It tells you, like, from the get-go, not that rounding about stuff. So I don't know. Let's see. What's the next thing we have? Okay, so you do play Splatoon 2.
Yes.
So are you flight or invisibility? Invisibility. I can't speak tonight. See, again, we're back to that illiterate Jersey thing. Invisibility. Which are you going to lean towards? And I'm assuming we're getting the same as the UK, but I don't know for sure.
I thought about this and I was like, you know what? If I'm thinking of this from a logical standpoint of being a superhero, I think I could be seen in heat vision, no? As if I were invisible.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like night vision or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with flight on this one.
Well, here's the way I feel. I feel like there's only two types of people that want to be invisible. Creepers and thieves. Like, what else do you need invisibility for? Ultimately, either you want to steal stuff or you want to check people out in the nude. And I'm not about either of those. So I'll just let that go, and I'll just fly. I'd rather fly.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah, it's like, do you want to be invisible and creep in on conversations? Like, what are you trying to find out? What are you eavesdropping on?
Yeah. So for me, I'm thinking this. This is what I'm going to really do, though. I would prefer flight, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until the bitter end to see what everybody picks. And then I'm going to go the opposite of what's leading, because I want to be involved in a lot of games like before. This last one, I took ketchup, and it was ketchup versus ketchup all the time.
Yeah.
And it was like, you get a couple of mayo matches, but it just wasn't fun.
That's all I kept getting with the ketchup. And then with ice cream versus cake, I felt like it was the same thing for me. I don't know if you experienced the same thing, but it was ice cream. Well,
I took cake
the entire time.
So I was good.
Ah, man. See? Yeah. Maybe I should have picked Team Cake. I would have had some variety.
Because that's the thing. When I took Team Cake, I played all the time. So I was like, okay, and then I took ketchup, and I was like, oh, this is a mistake. This is not good. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm almost wondering if Team Flight will take be the same situation. Maybe I should go invisibility.
That's what I'm thinking. I might just go invisibility because I'll just be like, whatever. You know what I mean? And then I could listen. Then I could play. I could be like John Cena. I could be on the stream just running around going, so you can't see me. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, man!
Okay, so
don't get me started on wrestling references.
Oh, wait. So you're a wrestler fan?
Yeah, man.
Are you new or old school?
No, I'm old school. Okay, but I still watch.
Okay, well, here's the definition. What do you define as old? There's old school, and then there's old school.
So for me, growing up, was Attitude Era. I'm sure you were in the Hogan era, Ultimate Warrior, and all that.
Are you trying to say I'm old Joe?
I'm just.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm trying to say you're seasoned vet.
There you go. So I actually experienced both eras. I experienced the Hogan era, the 80s, which was amazing. Honestly, it was just a great time to be a wrestling fan. And then I also experienced the whole Attitude Era.
You got to experience the Mega Powers, man.
Oh, dude, come on, man. How could you? Dude, the whole time was just phenomenal. I got to experience Andre the Giant as a bad guy.
Oh, my goodness.
Which was the most... Listen, to see Andre the Giant wrestle was just phenomenal. That dude was a beast, man, and he just, wrecked house. So, I mean, dude, I'll tell you what, one of the greatest WrestleManias, obviously, is WrestleMania 3 with him and Hulk Hogan. Man. And to watch him slam Andre the Giant was just never in a million years did I ever think that Hogan was going to beat. I really believe. So leading up to that, you're thinking Hulk Hogan's this unbeatable guy. He's never going to lose, right? And then all of a sudden, Andre the Giant comes in the picture, and it's well, wait a minute, Andre's never lost. Over 15 years, he's never lost. And it was oh my God, this is crazy. That was just, to watch him slam Andre was holy crap, dude. This dude just scooped this guy up and slammed him. Yes. I was and the best was when he tried the first time and he falls on top of him. And I'm he can't do it. He can't do it. It was so great. It was so great.
Oh, man.
But, okay, so the Attitude Era, to me, is the greatest era ever of wrestling.
Oh, dude, I will bust out my 2 Game Boy games of WWF Attitude on the Game Boy right now. I got it right there, man, dude.
I love Stone Cold. He's my favorite wrestler ever.
So good, so good.
I liked Stone Cold when Stone Cold was a bad guy. That was my favorite time of him. Him and Bret Hart and all that stuff. Before he went, a baby face and all that. I loved all that stuff. That whole Owen Hart dumping him on his head, and he left for a while.
Oh, the pile driver, that's right.
Yeah, that was horrible. And then he comes back, right? He comes back, and it's you're not sure where he's gonna be, what he's gonna do, and then that whole thing of Vince McMahon trying to keep him out and all that, and then when he stuns Vince McMahon, it was just holy crap, the gloves are off.
We're going.
Yeah, yep. we're going that direction, man. Here we go. Yeah, that King of the Ring promo was the best. That Rybo said that was the best promo, and it's funny because ever since that King of the Ring is just never meant anything, and it disappeared now. Now we don't even do it anymore. But like, it used to mean something, King and he took it. And it was just like done, game over. Like he was just so good, man. He was just amazing. And then The Rock, dude, that whole era, man. It was just like
you're not gonna get that era again.
No,
like,
man.
We're seeing all the awesome indie guys right now coming up finally.
Yeah,
but. Man, that era was just like unreal. You can't replicate that again.
Yeah, and I love NXT. Like NXT to me is like where it's at, dude. Those guys are the thing that I don't like. So this is what I look forward to. I look forward to the day that Triple H is running WWE.
Oh man,
because it shows he knows that business so well, and it drives me up the wall that when they send guys up from NXT, they get a good run in the beginning, and then Vince just starts to bury them. And it's like, come on, man, this is nonsense. Like, it's just
he gets the new toy.
Yeah.
He gets the new toy, and then he's tired of it. And
he brings them in like Shinsuke Nakamura is just like starting to fall apart now.
Don't even get me started.
And I'm like, this guy is a beast, man. What are you doing? Like, he was amazing in NXT. And it's just not happening. Nope. I'm glad they're not really burying Joe at the moment.
Yeah, Joe is probably one of the few right now that are like actually they're doing something with.
But he's so invested in cramming Roman Reigns down everybody's throat to be the next. Like, he's not The Rock. He's never going to be The Rock. He's his cousin. Stop it. Just let it go. And if the thing is if they would turn him heel, he would probably eventually start to win the crowd over. They want
give us a reason to boo him.
Well, people want to boo him. They hate him. Let them boo him. Just let it happen. This is nuts. I don't get it, man. The crazy thing is, I'm surprised The Rock hasn't pulled Roman aside and going, "What are you doing? Like, tell Vince you want to go heel." Like, because that happened to The Rock. They tried to force The Rock down everybody's throat. They booed. Yep. And then Vince was like, "Hey, why don't we take
Die Rocky
heel?"
Die?
Yeah, Die Rocky Die. And he was like, I just want 1 minute, 2 minutes. I want 2 minutes with the mic when I come back, and that's it. And those 2 minutes totally created that character, and they just went hog wild, man. Okay, so here you go. Deadeye Go Hard. He says DX all the way. My question to you is DX 1.0 or DX 2.0?
Ooh, oh man. So you're talking China, Shawn, Triple H, or the whole crew?
See, just the fact that you knew. See, that's what makes it awesome. The fact that you knew what I even meant. That's awesome. But go ahead. What is the better DX in your mind?
I gotta go with the whole crew because that's what made it.
Yeah.
That's really what made it. I mean, that was when it was just the three of them. Shawn had the title, and then Shawn had the back thing. Was it the back?
His back was messed up.
Ended up giving Stone Cold one at Mania.
Yeah, Stone Cold won. So what happened was Shawn got hurt during an Undertaker match. He hits his back on the casket. They're doing a casket match. He hits his back on the casket and kind of messes him up pretty bad. And he'd always been in trouble and hurt and back and forth. Then what happens is he's starting to become a bit of a dick and not wanting to drop the title to Stone Cold.
Yes.
And if you remember, they did the No Way Out pay-per-view, and it was pretty much like DX versus... It was going to be like Hunter... that was kind of the first forming of DX. It was supposed to be Hunter and Shawn and the New Age Outlaws against like Mankind and Chainsaw Charlie and Stone Cold, and I forget who the other guy was that they had with them. But that's what it was supposed to be. Oh, Kane. It was supposed to be Kane too. So it was supposed to be that group against the DX kind of group. And Shawn backed out. Shawn was like, "No, I'm not gonna go." And that was the first signs of like, he might try to pull some BS and back out of this match with Stone Cold at WrestleMania. And then they even said, like, he didn't want to do the match. He didn't want to do favors at WrestleMania. He just wanted to kind of, like, whatever. And
Taker had to get involved. I remember hearing about that.
Taker told him, like, you're going to drop the title. You're going to drop the title. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Like, if you are no better than me. Like, that... Taker's such a badass, man.
Oh, man,
like,
dude. He's in the city. He's in the city.
Is he?
Yeah, my friend texted me like 30 minutes before this, and he's like, Taker's in the city. Is he going to show up at SummerSlam? It's like, is he going to interfere in the Roman match, or is he just there?
Dude,
like,
that is amazing.
I'm like, oh, let's get this started. Let's get the show on the road. Let's go.
Oh, my God. DJ, what is up? How are you doing? Carlos said, I was more into WCW. Sting was my favorite wrestler. So I was into WCW a little bit, but only when they started the NWO. When it
I was flipping channels, man.
I was always going back and forth. But I always felt like WWE had the better programming, just that WCW was kind of winning. And it definitely told the story of, like, after we hit the point where, like, the Big Show, which was the Giant in WCW, when he joins NWO, it kind of, that's when it all starts to go down. Because then it's like every week someone new's joining, and it's just getting too big, and it just got out of control.
What was it? You had what's his face? Dusty Rhodes ended up joining at one point. It was so it was like, and then
stuff.
They had the B Squad on Thunder, and I watched it for the cruiserweights. That's what got me. Yeah. That's what really caught me into wrestling, was the cruiserweight division. Dean Malenko, Rey Mysterio,
they were
Jr.,
amazing. And when they all left, remember when they all left and went to WWF?
Yep.
And
the Radicals.
The Radicals. Oh my god, dude, they were so awesome. It was so awesome. And I remember, because at the time, like, wrestling was kind of like this weird thing in the 90s where you were starting to hit that point. Dude, this show just totally derailed. Yeah, but whatever. It's fine.
I'm rolling with you.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. It is what it is, people. But that whole Attitude Era, like, the 90s kind of was this weird underlying thing. Like, you knew there was a truth to some of the wrestling stuff going on, but you weren't really sure, because ECW was doing a lot of shoot wrestling or shoot promos, and it kind of made people like, so is this real or is this not real, or any of that. I will say this, one of the coolest things I ever saw, and to this day, I was never really sure if it was real or not. So Vince Russo goes to WCW. And he's doing all this gimmicky stuff, and then I guess it was a pay-per-view, I forget which one it was.
Sold Out, Jeff Jarrett versus Hogan for the title.
Yes, and Jarrett just lays down, and Hogan pins him, and then that's it. And then next thing you know, Hogan storms off, and they bring out Booker T and Jeff Jarrett, and they have another match. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
This is weird.
Because I think it was like a few months or like a year before that, Kevin Nash had done that to Hogan.
Yes.
After Hogan came back,
where he pushed him and he
finger poke of death. Yeah.
But the thing of it was like there was some underlying stuff going on, and apparently, what they said was Hogan was refusing to drop the title. So they were like, okay, if you're not going to do it, we're just going to do it the way we want to do it, and it is what it is. And Hogan got pissed and he walked off. He actually wound up suing WCW right after that. So, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, all right, so let's digress before we start losing everybody here. I'm surprised we still got anybody paying attention now. I know there's a couple people here like Nintendo Family Gaming, Joel Brooks, like, he's a huge wrestling fan, so he lives in Canada, so it's okay in Joe's mind, or in Joel's mind. Joel's like, yeah, keep going, but some of these guys are gonna be like, all right, click, I'm out. These nerds.
Yeah, I have like one other person that's like into wrestling over on my streams normally, but it's like, if I start talking about it, I lose everybody. So.
Yeah. Chibi's like, you lost me. I'm sorry, Chibi. Like, relax.
Sorry, guys.
But anyway. Splatoon 2 UK Championships were announced. It will be starting August 26th. 8 teams of 4 will qualify for a grand finale to be held at EGX 2017. It will be live streamed on the official Nintendo UK Twitch channel, and each winning team member will receive a trophy. That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, honestly. And I don't know, man. I kind of like where it's going. I like that Nintendo's starting to push this agenda a lot more. I just hope it does continue to go down this route. Like, I've you know what, man? A while back, I watched on Netflix, there was a documentary about the whole gaming scene and the professional gaming scene. And I started to watch it, and it was basically talking about how, like, the United States is so underpowered, they can't win anything, and it's basically an underdog story, how the gaming scene needs the United States to be big, because that's where a lot of the money is. But they're just not that good compared to, like, Japan and Korea and all that stuff.
Was this that esports one?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and it's a really good, and I'm sitting there watching it going like, man, I would totally watch this stuff all the time. Like, that would be amazing just to watch all the time. So I'm for it. And if Nintendo can get behind this, where they actually have like a Twitch channel that's streaming like just matches all day, like that would be so cool to get in there and watch. And what would be even better is if they were doing this, you could actually log in with your Switch and then go in and watch it, like, and have the controls to watch what you want to watch. Like, follow characters.
That
and
actually
stuff.
would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Because I don't know if you've messed with that, any of the spectator mode.
No, I haven't.
I'm actually going to start a tournament tomorrow. I think we're going to do it tomorrow night. I just got to make sure.
I saw on your Discord, yeah.
We're going to do it tomorrow night. So what it's going to be is I'm going to actually commentate it. I'm not going to be involved in it. I'm just going to go and I'm going to commentate it, and I'm going to take teams of 2, and they're going to battle each other and go at it. So if you're interested, anybody that's watching that's interested in it, go join our Discord and it says the Guru Invitational. Like, go in there. Everybody's teaming up, and we're going to kick it off tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and that'll be the first rounds of matches and stuff going. So it'll be kind of cool to see how that goes.
That has Deadeye written all over it.
Yeah, there you go, Deadeye. There you go. Josue Ponce is definitely into it, too. And speaking of Josue Ponce, the last story I wanted to talk about was yesterday's Nintendo Talk Live with Jules Watcham was actually reported on by Nintendo Mobile News last night by Francine Rubles. That was amazing. Dude, I get done the thing, and I'm sitting there on the chair, and I'm talking to my wife, and then boom, I get a Twitter thing pop up, and I'm like, holy crap, dude, they just covered the story. Like, it was awesome. It was so cool to do that. So thank you, Josue, and everybody. Like, I appreciate the support from Nin Mobile News. Like, it was really awesome. And Jules was an amazing guest. Like, if you have not watched that episode, go back, man, because he talks about a lot of stuff. Like, we get into conversations about stuff, and he doesn't pull punches. Like, he's not afraid to say what's on his mind and go full bore with it. So it was awesome.
I liked his whole piece on what happened with him announcing Chicken Wiggle and talking about Mario Maker being announced the very next day. Yes. And that whole thing and how he handled that situation. Yeah. That was a really good interview, by the way. Good. I watched the whole thing yesterday.
Thank you. Twin World Game Reviews. Yes, I did see your response to that and all that stuff, because it was Luke Lore who's in the chat who was asking for the easy mode, because Luke is a little sissified. I said it. I called you out, Luke. I'm sorry. You're one of my mods.
Is hard, man.
You're one of my mods, but you know, step it up, man. Get good. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's like the Dark Souls of platformers,
dude.
Man.
It's tough, man.
Just like gouge my eye out, dude. Sometimes.
If you play, but here's the thing: if you play Super Challenge, it is so much harder than Deluxe. Like, so much.
That's
harder.
what I'm playing right now. I'm like, I can't. It took me 5-10 minutes to get through that little intro to get to the open world. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
It's nuts, dude. It is so hard, but it's so good. Here's the thing, though: when you die, you realize I'm just an idiot. I suck, and that's what. It's not like oh,
it's not the game's fault.
It's not the game. It's not like it's a cheap kill. It's like
no,
it's good. It's a good game. All right, Joe. So let's jump into a little bit about you. And stuff. So I'm going to start throwing some stuff at you, and we're going to lead into this Nintendo Talk conversation and stuff. So what is your earliest memories of Nintendo?
Oh, man. Double Dragon 2, The Revenge on the NES when I was about 4 years old.
Dude,
4 years old?
Wait, who plays video games at 3, 4? I hear this all the time. How the hell are you playing a game at 3 to 4 years old?
That was my earliest memory, dude. Because my brother had the NES, so he had all the games. He had the, a lot of the licensed stuff, the TMNT2, Friday the 13th, Gremlins.
Oh my god!
He had all the really random stuff, and then he had Mario, Duck Hunt, and all that stuff. But Double Dragon 2 was the first game I recall playing with him, like at birthday parties. We bust out the Nintendo, play 2-player. Oh man, like that game is synonymous with my childhood.
That's amazing.
That started all the beat 'em ups.
So what you're telling me is this. This is what you're telling me. You would sit on the couch and your brother would hand you a controller that wasn't plugged in, and you were sitting there playing while he's sitting playing Player One, and he's playing like, "You're doing good, Joe. You're doing amazing." You're like, "Oh yeah, this is great, man." And you weren't really
just let him beat up all the characters.
Yeah.
I was Billy. He was Jimmy. It was all good. It was all good.
That's funny. That is so funny.
Oh my goodness.
Double Dragon 2 is a really good game. Like, that was a good game, man, back in the day. Like, didn't they just do a new one for the PS4?
Neo Double Dragon.
Wasn't that good. So I'll take that as it wasn't that good. Okay, we'll let that go. we'll let that one slide by.
It was free on PS Plus. I think that's how I got it.
Yeah. So what is your favorite Nintendo console?
Oh, damn. It's a good question. I struggle with this, and it's a different answer every time. But for me, I gotta say Super Nintendo was mine.
Yeah, me too.
Half the games on the Classic coming out were like games that I adored and played every single day.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 3 before it was 6.
Yeah.
But that game, oh my goodness, I played that game for hours. I never beat it on the Super Nintendo. I didn't beat it until I had my Game Boy Advance copy of that game. Oh my
god, dude.
Yeah.
That game. So for me, okay. So here was my setup in my house. I'm a kid, right? And I say kid, but I was like 15, 16 years old, right? Maybe 17, whatever. I don't know. But I had like a big we had these floor model TVs when I was a kid. We had these big gigantic pieces of garbage.
The big CRTs.
Yeah, dude. But it was a big piece of wood, and
you had. I know exactly what you're talking about.
There were floor models, man. You did.
My grandmother had one of those.
Yes. So you had to like take 6 people to pick the thing up and slide it. You know what I mean?
You need dollies to roll that thing around.
Yes. So what happened was I bought my mom. I was older than. I think I was 18 at the time. Because my parents had just gotten divorced, and as a Christmas present, I bought my mom a brand new one, a big one. And this one you could actually swivel and move around. So,
it's got the wheels, man.
It wasn't at wheels, but it was like the platform was a base, and then it swiveled back and forth. So I said to her, like, look, I'm going to take the other one to my bedroom. So I had the big one, and then I had a little TV like a 13-inch that I used to play on. So what I did was I converted the 13-inch to be cable television, and then the big television I played my Nintendo games on. And so I'm playing Super Nintendo, and I'm watching football on Sundays and all that stuff. And it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. But so Final Fantasy, right? I'm playing Final Fantasy, and it's the one game that like I get frustrated at some point, and I stop playing for a little bit because I just kind of get bored. It hit this lull part where I got a little bored with it, and I'm like, it was the pre-opera part. And I was just like, oh, I'm not really.
Oh, so you got past the Kefka finally becoming the real villain of the game.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So I was just like, this is all right. I'm not feeling it, and I stop, and then I forget where I am. Because I didn't play for like 3-4 weeks, and I go back because I'm like, I really want to beat this because I loved 1 and I loved 2. And I'm like, I really should go beat this. So I go back, and I can't remember where the hell I am. And I remember going around for like 5 to 10 minutes, getting so frustrated. And then I go for another 30 minutes and get frustrated. I'm like, I'm going to start over. I got to start over.
No.
So I shut it down, and I start over. And then I go completely hog wild. I fall in love with it, and I just play it straight through. And I want to beat... The opera scene is the most amazing... At that time,
it's the best part.
Yes,
it's the best part of the game.
It's the best part of the game because you're doing the opera thing and you're doing like side missions while it's going. That's what I loved about that because it'd be like, take a team, go that way. Take a team, go that way. Like if you like GTA 5 when they have that scene where Michael and all these guys or Trevor are breaking off and doing different things. That was the original OG Grand Theft Auto 5. Like you sat there and you're like, you guys go this way and you guys go this way, and then the one team sneaking around the back and then the other. It was just so awesome, man. I love that game. I loved it.
It was one of the first games I could remember where every person that you met along the way that joined your party mattered, and you needed to keep everyone at a consistent level or else you were screwed. Especially towards the end of the game.
Yeah, when you're
requires every character.
You're using them all to win. You're using them all to beat. Yeah, it was like, that is madness, man. It was so good though. But the thing I liked about Final Fantasy games was this. I originally played on I fell in love with role-playing games because of Dragon Warrior, which is now Dragon Quest.
Yes.
And so I was playing Dragon Warrior games where, dude, you had to grind. Like, if you did not grind in those games,
that game is evil.
You aren't doing anything at all. I beat the first Dragon Warrior, and I'm like, okay, I get Dragon Warrior 2, and I'm just like, dude, I don't have the patience or the care to grind for hours on end. I'm done. So I left. I stopped playing midway through the game. I just stopped. I did wind up picking up 3 and beating 3, but when taking that grinding mentality to a Final Fantasy game, dude, you go beast mode on that.
Yep.
Because if you just start grinding and going around and going, that's why, like, when I play role-playing games today, they're not that hard. Because I'm just so used to doing the grinding aspect that by the time, like, I get into actually battling big things, like, I'm just overpowered at that
You're
point.
generally OP at that point.
And I'm just running right through it. Like, when I played Bravely Default, the original one, dude, I was just so jacked up by the time, because I would spend an hour just walking around in circles fighting stuff, and then I would just go do a mission.
You can jack up the difficulty too, so that way it's like less steps, and then you're like every 2 steps is a battle or something. Yeah,
it was just nuts, dude. So I would just like crush stuff. Luke Lord, let me explain something to you. I am good, my man. Don't tell me to get good. Don't you ever try that, okay? I love you, Luke. I'm just kidding.
Gotta get good.
Yeah. So for me, Final Fantasy 3 is like a sweet spot for me. Like, I love that game.
Yeah.
Did you ever play ActRaiser?
No, I did not.
So
yeah.
Good,
and
man.
I keep hearing all these great things. It's like it's funny. I've been slowly get on this retro kick. Like, I rebought a GameCube, and I'm like trying to slowly rebuild that library. And then I bought the Game Boy Advance player because I lost my Game Boy Advance in a move from Queens to the Bronx a few years back. I lost that. I lost my Pokemon Red. I lost a few games in that I'm just like really upset that I don't have them anymore. But I'm slowly like going back and rebuilding a library. I'm afraid to start with the Super Nintendo because I think that's where it's going to go all downhill. And Nintendo owns my bank account already. I don't need all the exactly. Yeah. I don't need any more money to be given to like the people that are going to like sell me these games at jacked up prices.
Yeah. So Twin World Game Review says ActRaiser 1 and 2 for SNES were sweet. Let's be honest though. ActRaiser 1 was the god. ActRaiser 2 was hot trash because it was good. Don't get me wrong. It looked like a great game. The problem was so with ActRaiser 1, there was 2 parts of the game. There was what you would call like a simulator mode, and then there was a battle mode. So you would you're a little angel, a cherub that's like floating around and like answering the requests of the people. Like you're building roads for them and houses and helping with farms, and like they would be like a creature's attacking the village or whatever, the church, and you'd go in and you would attack, and then you would go into a side-scrolling level where you have to go through and beat the boss, and then when you beat the boss, it gets some power-ups, and you come back out, and then you work on your world, you know what I mean? But ActRaiser 2 just eliminated that whole part of it, and I was like, dude, that's the part I loved. Like, where's that? Like, it was just like...
So they took the core aspect and removed it.
It was, they totally... don't get me wrong, 2 was good, but it just was like, it just became like a side-scrolling beat-em-up to some degree, like a Castlevania type game or like a Final Fight, like those type of games. You're just kind of going inside, like a Ghosts and Goblins type.
One direction, and that's it.
You're going one direction, and that's all you're doing, and it was just nuts. So, So, what is your favorite Nintendo franchise?
Oh man, favorite Nintendo franchise? I would say the 2D Metroid games, but man. I mean, I have such a soft spot for Mario. I have Star Fox like hits home for me on so many levels.
Yeah.
I'd probably go more the space stuff, Star Fox and Metroid. I didn't really go into Prime all that much. I'm actually like going through and playing all the games right now. I'm on Other M right now, and then I'm gonna jump into all the Prime stuff. But going back and playing like all the 2D platformers, I'm just like it. There's just something special about them, and having to go back and retrace your steps to find something else that's new because you didn't have a power up to get to that area. Yeah. There weren't many games at the time that really did that. No. And the whole concept of the first Metroid, for instance, no one knew to go left. You always go right.
Well, that's all you know.
That's all you knew, especially for 88 when that game came out. You go to the right, you can't go through that blue door. You've got to go left and get the morph ball first and realize that, oh, wow, this game is all about exploring and telling the story through environment, which is really, really great. And then Star Fox for me is just like your intro to Star Wars, I feel like, almost. On the SNES, and then Star Fox 64 blew it out of the water for me, kind of like how Ocarina of Time did for me. Star Fox is just like one of those games that's really special, and I kind of just really got lost in that game. And I don't know, I feel like personal connections with certain games, and Star Fox 64 in particular is just like, that's always going to be a game that's really special to me.
Yeah.
Zero, I was really heartbroken about Zero.
Zero's bad.
And I feel like I should like redeem myself and try to finish that game.
Yeah,
but it's Star Fox. It's Star.
Stop it. Don't waste your time. That's like me saying I love Zelda, and I'm gonna push myself to finish Skyward Sword. Like,
oh man, I haven't even touched Skyward Sword
yet. The controls just kill it for me, man. It just really it's a shame because I love the storyline, I love the art style, I love it all. But man, I got so frustrated playing that game because I was just like, and what drives me crazy is this stupid blue girl that jumps out of my back every 2 minutes and tells me I can't go somewhere. Like, dude, stop. Just get out of my way. I want to go that way. I don't care if I die. Like, stop. Just let me do what I want to do. And that's why I think I like Breath of the Wild so much, is because you can, just do wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do. So
Breath of the Wild for me was like what Ocarina of Time was the first time playing that, and feeling like you were in an open world since the first Zelda, but you weren't really in an open world. Everything was still enclosed. It just felt that way for the time.
Yeah.
My mind is still blown away by Breath of the Wild.
My next question I actually have is, will Zelda Breath of the Wild win Game of the Year?
Oh, man. What's funny? I was talking about this yesterday. I was like, if I had to pick like a top 5 list, Breath of the Wild would have to be there, and Sonic Mania has to be up there.
Are you insane?
For me.
Don't do that.
No. Oh my gosh, Sonic Mania, dude! You don't understand that game. Oh my goodness,
you cannot compare the two. Would you stop? Stop.
I can't compare to Sonic 2. What?
You can't compare the two games.
I can't compare to games. No. But if I had to make like a top 5 list, that's up there in that list of games that have come out this year. If I'm only talking about Nintendo games,
you're open to talk. You're open to talk about whatever. That's because my thing is this: I look at Sonic is just it's bad.
It's
Sonic's bad.
1 and 2 bad games.
So here's the thing.
And Knuckles, if anyone has ever played those are the best Sonic games out there, and there hasn't been any since. And it takes the elements of those, most of it, and just threw them in there, and it's an entire love letter to that original series.
Yeah, I think the thing is this is what I learned pretty quickly. And I got told this the other day because I was playing it on the stream for a little bit, and people were like, "You're playing like a Mario game, and that's not how you play Sonic." And that's the problem. Someone that grew up playing Mario games, it doesn't play like a Mario game to some degree, and it's a lot different. And there's a move set you have to learn in order to do stuff, and I was getting stuck in certain areas because I didn't know the moves. So I get why Sonic fans love it. You know what I mean? Like, you guys were ingrained with bad games and all that, and it just makes sense, you know what I mean? But I gotta take my shots, man. I love taking shots.
Hey, man, I accept it all. I had a Genesis growing up too, man.
I had
with Streets of Rage 2 was the combo pack I got.
I had a Genesis too, and then I woke up one day and was like, you know what?
Super Mario World is better.
Yeah, it's a lot better, man. I'm just going back to my Super Nintendo. I'm gonna go that way. Here's the thing. Man. I don't hate Sonic the way I portray. I don't think it's the great games that people give it credit for. I think it's a good game at best. There's a lot more bad Sonic games than there are good Sonic games.
100%, yes.
So, Chibi, would you stop? Chibi's like, I'm bored. Stop, Chibi. But at the end of the day, like I look at Nintendo. And I look at Mario and all that stuff, and it's like I just love that style. For me, Game of the Year, right? So let's look at this. What I love about Zelda, even being in the picture, is the fact that like going into the Switch, everybody was like, "That's all they got is Zelda. That's all they got is Zelda." Yeah. And then you played it, and it was like, "That's all they need is Zelda." Like it just blew me away that it was just like
And the fact that they're still bringing out more content, it's like,
Yes.
come on.
Yeah, man. Like, I can't wait for that next pack. And I'll tell you
Dude.
what, like, the DLC that we just hit, like, I haven't even completed, you know, the sword
I haven't
thing.
touched Master of Trials yet.
Yeah.
I need to get all the shrines. That's my goal.
I did all the shrines. I got all the shrines. I'm going to jump in and go back and play it. I got to just find time. Splatoon basically took my life over at this point. But
yeah, you stream every day Splatoon. I've been
know,
seeing you.
but that's what they want to play, man. It's
Hey,
like,
man.
Hey, what I like about it is I just like playing with the community. I honestly, I don't like streaming by myself. Like, I like the fact of, like, the people that are there that are talking, like, they're playing with me. And I'm talking trash to them because I like to talk trash. So I like to, like, tell Luke Lord, like, dude, you're just horrible. I just splatted you again. I like yelling at Rybo because he killed me 5 times in a row. I like yelling at Chibi because she's supposed to be my friend and she shoot me in the back every 2 seconds. Like, that's fun to me. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, that's what this platform is, interactivity.
Yeah.
It's what it's built upon.
Yeah. So for me, I enjoy playing that stuff more. When I play the single player stuff, it's more when I'm streaming off a different era, you know what I mean, or a different hour time, where it's like there's not a lot of people around, you know what I mean. So, you know, it is what it is. Listen, Luke, you beat my team in 70% of the matches. You don't beat me in 70% of the matches. Head to head, I score more points. That's all that matters.
I love it.
What are you most excited for coming out for Nintendo in 2017?
Oh man, I played Mario Odyssey at E3. That blew my mind a lot more than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. I waited 4 hours to play that demo, by the way. Yeah. And then I played Fire Emblem Warriors at Nintendo New York that same weekend. I'm excited for that game. I feel like that one I might get a little more tired from because I've played Hyrule Warriors and I know how that whole Dynasty Warriors genre goes, but the fact that it's Fire Emblem characters, I'm like, has got me invested, and
I think it'll be better than Hyrule Warriors. I think it'll be better than Hyrule Warriors because of the fact of the way it's going to work out. I think, honestly, because there's more depth and more story with Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
Zelda's not really a strong story-based game. Like, there's not a whole lot of story in it. You know what I mean?
Save the princess, defeat the big guy,
and that's it. Where at least with Fire Emblem, like there's a lot of. What's your favorite Fire Emblem game?
Oh man, so Game Boy Advance, the first Fire Emblem that came out in the US, that was the one that I got, and then I hadn't played anything else up until Fates. So I had like missed a bunch of games in between all that, but the first Fire Emblem with Lyn and Eli Wood, that's mine. I have like a soft spot for that game.
I never played a Fire Emblem game until Awakening.
Okay.
And I loved that game. Like, that game pulled me in big time. I really loved Fates. Like, really.
That was the first one with the relationship system too and all that, right?
Awakens, right?
Awakening?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I loved about Fates was I loved the 3 storylines and the dynamic of that. Like, that was a lot of fun.
That was.
I actually bought the collector's edition, so I had all 3, which was awesome because you go with that one with the collector's edition. You go in, and then when you hit chapter 6, then you pick the road you want to go on.
You branch out,
and then you branch out to go do whatever one you want, and that was just so cool, man. I'm not a fan of. So again, when I can get into the grinding aspect, I can get good, and that's where with Fire Emblem Fates, like I played the first one, I played the oh my god, I can't remember the names of them.
Conquest and Revelation were the other 2.
So I played Conquest. No, wait, Revelation was the third part. Conquest was the hard one. And then what was the other one?
Hard is being generous. I still haven't finished that one.
Dude, it's so because you can't like.
I'm stuck on chapter 13. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I'm stuck on. I think it's probably the same. We're 15. I am, but I can't. I can't beat it. I've done it like 30 times. Can't beat it, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, you can't go and grind.
My pride has struck me. Like, I'm like, I need to return to this game. I need a redemption. That's on the list.
Yeah. It would be, I don't know, man. I gotta figure it. Birthright. That's what it was. Okay, so Birthright. I beat Birthright, which was good because you could go in, you could grind, you could replay levels, do all that, and get stronger, and then move forward. When I went to Conquest, it was like, wait, I can't go back and play other levels again? Like, this
It's
is
too
nuts.
hard. It's like, nope.
So hard, man. And I almost went that way to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, Camilla almost swayed me to go that way. And I was like, no, I can't do it. I gotta go Birthright. I'm gonna go Birthright. And thank God I did, because I would have been like, screw this game, I'm not playing no more.
Hey, Camilla joins Birthright. It's all good.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
all know
That's
she's
true.
the best. She's the best. It's hands down. That's not even a question. Everyone's entitled to be wrong. Camilla is top dog.
That's how I feel about Sonic. Like, everybody's entitled to be wrong. Like, screw Sonic, you know? But I do want to go back and play Revelations, because my understanding is Revelations is kind of geared more like Birthright, where you can go back and replay stuff and get better and stronger and all that. So I definitely want to go back and do Revelations.
Yeah. So you haven't finished Revelations yet?
No. And I know,
man.
And I hear there's stuff that, like, it really opens the game up and tells you a lot of stuff with that.
I just got chills.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the best one story-wise out of all three of them.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to start playing it this weekend.
I guess you can say it's like the main path, the ultimate path to take.
Yeah.
And you learn more about, like, you know, certain things in Birthright, like, oh, what happened to this person?
Yeah.
What happens really to, you know, the main guy? What's his name? Garen?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
And, you know, it takes you on a whole other level.
I gotta go back and play that.
Yeah.
I definitely gotta go back and play that. So, got a couple minutes left here, Joe. Question for you. So, you're one of the few people that I know that actually do both Twitch and YouTube. And if I'm not mistaken, let me understand this correctly. So, you stream on Twitch, and then you'll post gameplay footage on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you don't ever do any streaming on YouTube or any of that, right?
I occasionally do. The thing is, as we've all experienced here, the first 10 minutes of the stream, my internet is crap.
Okay.
So YouTube requires like 4.5 megabytes of uploading.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I can't stay streaming for that long without the quality just dipping ridiculously. So what I always end up doing is recording and streaming on Twitch at the same time, so that way instead of exporting to Twitch, I can just edit down the video and upload it to YouTube. But I used to do original YouTube content, which I'm working on trying to get back into that notion as well of, you know, stuff for just YouTube as well, and then, you know, bringing everything from Twitch over to YouTube, like I normally do already.
We need to do something together. We gotta do something.
Let me know.
I have videos that I want to work on. I want to do some collab stuff. Patrick from Nintendo Talk, I want to get him involved in some stuff too. Yeah. So, you know, there's no reason why we can't do some stuff together. And I'm not sure when, but I'm trying to plan a trip to New York, to Nintendo New York. So when that happens, you better be there, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let me know. You got my number.
If you don't show up, I got your number. I'll track you down, man, and I will drag your ass down.
I'm only like 20 minutes away from there, so
I don't know how you don't live there. I would be like, can I just put a cot right here next to this Mario Center?
I practically live there. My addiction with that store started this year. It got so bad because I guess inadvertently got my niece, she's 3 years old, into Kirby. She found my Kirby amiibo, and that was just kind of it. So she took my amiibo. I had to buy myself a new one. It was the Robobot amiibo.
Yeah.
And then so I got her the plushie. She carries that thing everywhere. She loves Meta Knight. She watches the Kirby right back at you from like early 2000s on YouTube.
God, dude.
She knows the song by word for word.
That's funny.
So every time I go there, it's with the intention of getting her something, but then I always end up getting myself something. So I ended up getting this Samus shirt today.
That's a good shirt, man.
The Nintendo.
Oh, that's awesome, dude! Yeah. I love that. I got to get one of those.
Which Summer of Play is happening this weekend, so they have these for the first 100 people every day, and it says My Nintendo on it if you check in with the My Nintendo app.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I gotta check that out, man. I gotta get up there, man. I haven't been up there in a while. That's a problem. Like I'm not that far away. If I drove into New York, it's about 3 hours. But I'm not driving in New York. Like, screw that nonsense. But I take the train.
Deep Jersey.
I'm South Jersey. Yeah, like I'm closer to Atlantic City than anything. I'm probably about 40 minutes from Atlantic City. I'm about 20, 30 minutes from Philadelphia. So I'm in that kind of area.
Gotcha.
So what I typically do is I drive up into Hamilton Station and take the train into Philly, into New York, and I end up in Madison Square Garden, Penn Station. And then I just walk to the store. It's not that far. It's only maybe like 5-10 minutes.
It's walk. Like a 10, yeah.
It's not that far at all. So, and me and my wife went there for the first time a few years ago, and we didn't know where the hell we were going. Like, we stayed there for the weekend, and I was like, I don't know New York. I don't know where shit is, man. Like, how are we getting here? And then we went to, and I fell in love. And then the next time we went, we actually got a room in Rockefeller Center.
Nice.
Right on the outskirts. We stayed. It was for the Gold Mario amiibo. So.
Oh my gosh.
So what I do is, right. This is nuts.
Oh.
This is a great story. I'm gonna tell this story before we wrap it up. So what happens is, I'm sitting there and I want Gold Mario, and I'm like, I know that it's a Walmart exclusive, and I know Walmart's down here open at midnight. So I got two options. I can either go there at midnight, or I can go to New York, where I know they'll have them, and I'm going to get one. Because we didn't know how many of the stores were going to get, because they weren't talking about it at all. There was no pre-orders for them. There was no nothing. You had to go to the store to get it.
So, remind me, it was more than just Gold Mario during that release, right?
That's the kicker. So, no, during that release, it was only Gold Mario.
Was it? Oh, man.
But,
okay.
So what happens is, right, I go to New York, I talk to my wife, I'm like, after I get done work, let's drive, or let's go to New York, let's get a room. So she books the room, and it's right out on the outskirts of Rockefeller Center. So we go up there, and there's a huge line that's on the other side of the street, where, like, when C&D and them were there, it was on that side of the street, right? So that's where it starts, and I'm like, so I go up and I talk to the one manager, and she's like, I don't know who those people are over there, and I don't care who they are. They mean nothing to this line. Whoever's first in this line here that's first in line. She goes, that line means nothing. And I'm like, okay. So I get the bright idea that I'm going to go down by where the tree is, and I'm just going to kind of hang and linger down there, and then just slowly work my way up. Well, they broke the line quick before midnight, so they run back across the street. So now she's pissed, because she's like, you're not supposed to be here before midnight. You jumped the line. You guys all jumped the line. And so what we're gonna do is, she comes out and she's yelling at everybody, get in a single file line, push back. So I start out, and I'm like probably 10 feet off the store, and I wind up going further down because it backs up, right? I'm like, am I going to get this thing or not? So she comes walking down the line. She's like, get in a straight line. She's like, guys, we have more than enough for everybody here, but get in a straight line. So I'm like, okay. Wow. So I'm standing there, right? And on my way to New York, I'm on Instagram, and I post that, like, I'm on my way to New York to the Nintendo World Store. I just paid $600 to try to get a Gold Mario, because we got the room. The room was $600. And I'm like, and I'm going to pay $600 for me to stand on the street for the night. And I was like, so we get there, and she comes out, and they start giving bracelets out. And I'm like, okay. So she comes up, and I go, can I ask you a stupid question? She's like, yeah. I said, this bracelet guarantees me a Gold Mario, right? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, so technically I could leave, go to my hotel room, sleep, and then come back in the morning, and I'll still get a Gold Mario. And she's like, did you post that on Instagram about the guy? And I was like, that was me. And she's like, man, go sleep in your room. She's like, come back in the morning, and you'll have the bracelet get you the Gold Mario. I'm like, yes, that's all I need to hear. See you later. So I take off, right? So now I go to sleep. I wake up at 8 o'clock, because it's now about 1 o'clock when I get there. I go back to the room. My wife's up. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I got a bracelet. The woman told me just come back in the morning and I'll get it. So I'm like, okay. So now 8 o'clock I go down. Dude, the line is around the block.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, what the hell? Now I got to wait in this line just to get in the store. And I'm like, now I'm getting nervous, right? So I get in the line, and I'm around the block, and people dude, that's the weird thing about New York. People are just walking up like, what are you waiting in line for?
What's the line for? What is this?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yep.
So at first it's like, oh, it's a Nintendo thing. And then after about the 10th time, I was like, I don't know. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know? I was like, I just walked up and I saw a line, so I just stood in it. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah, I don't know. I think they might be giving away money or something. I'm just going to stay in line. And they're like, people are getting pissed because they know I'm just being a jerk. So I wind up going in, right? And I go in, and there's a guy standing there, and he's like, he's the manager now during the day. And I said, hey, man, I got this bracelet for Gold Mario. And he's like looking at me like, yeah, I think we're done with those. And I'm like, Man, I got the bracelet, bro. And he's like, all right, just go to the line, go to that line, and tell them when you get up to the line, up to the counter. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I go up, I get in line, I get up to the counter. They have all of the store exclusives there as well. So they had Meta Knight, and they had Rosalina, and everyone's Greninja. Like, all the original store exclusives were there, plus one gold Mario was left, and that was from me. And the guy goes, dude, we thought we screwed up the count, man. This has been here, and we've been wondering the whole time, like, should we sell it or just hang on? And I'm like, thank God you hung on, man. So I got the gold Mario.
Wow.
But the funny thing is, what I did was I sent my boys to Walmart's here in Jersey to go hit gold Marios there. And then what I did was because I had friends in the UK, because they still to this day, it never went to Europe. They never got it in Europe. So I had friends.
Really?
I had friends who were Amiibo collectors.
Wow.
That wanted them, so I shipped them off to them and stuff and sent them out there. So anyway, so Joe, real quick, let everybody know where they can find you at and get all your information and all that good stuff. Like, now's your chance. Now get out.
Yeah. You can find me over youtube.com/JoAfterWork. Anything JoAfterWork you search, it's J-O, not the J-O-E. Twitch, Twitter, SoundCloud, and iTunes, actually, since that Nintendo show is the weekly show I do.
Okay.
You can find it in audio format if you choose to do so and listen to it that way. Otherwise, everything's here on YouTube on demand, usually within the couple of days of when I do each stream. Usually, if I'm not like working a bajillion hours, then I get some time after work at night, and I just hammer out all the videos to get them ready to go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I got to tell you, man, we never knew each other before this. You came into my stream one day, and then we just started talking. I was like, this guy's really cool, man. I like this guy. And
thanks, man.
We've been talking back and forth occasionally, and I was like, I'm just going to ask Joe to come on my show one day and see what happens. And you happened to come in the stream the other night, and I was like, Joe, man, what do you think about coming on the show? And you're like, dude, let's do it. And I was like, okay. So we set it up. But, man, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This has been a lot of fun. And it's funny because we've never talked before.
No.
And I've never hit it off with somebody this well without talking to him before. Like,
dude,
I'm just
this is awesome. I feel like we already have kind of like had that
Yeah.
chemistry right there.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
Yeah, it was great, man. It's weird because normally it's like the first time I'm talking to someone, I'm a little timid, a little nervous. I had like notes all set up because I'm like, man, I don't know how it's going to be. I might get a little shy. And then, Joe's a good looking guy. I might get a little nervous and stuff and be like, get a little starstruck, But, no.
Oh, my
anyway,
God.
You can follow me. Man, Twitter, Instagram, at Nintendo Gurus. Obviously, you're at the channel and all that stuff. So, that is all. Peace out, Preston.